Hello, everyone. I'm Councilmember Emmanuel Remy, and I am pleased to be joined today by the Executive Director of the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio, Ty Marsh. Ty, thank you for coming in today to talk to us a little bit about what's going on down at SWACO. How are you?
I'm fine, Councilmember. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's great to participate virtually online like this.
I appreciate the time today. A constant topic of discussion in many cities, including Columbus, is recycling. With so many residents in Columbus and Central Ohio staying home, refuse collection with the city has increased over 26%, many of these refuse items being recyclable. I noticed that you had written a letter to the editor to the Dispatch that was published on the 15th of April that touched on the positive impacts recycling has on our local economy, workforce, and environment. So for our viewers who may not have read the article, could you speak to these positive impacts?
I'd be glad to, and thank you for the opportunity to do so. What was happening with many cities throughout the country is that recycling services was being suspended for a variety of reasons. And the point that we wanted to make, particularly in Central Ohio, is that recycling is very important to continue, primarily for economic reasons. Well, everyone knows that recycling is good for the environment. What a lot of people don't really realize is that it's good for the economy as well. In Franklin County, there are over 400 companies that are in the recycling business. That's over 5,000 employees. There's a direct and indirect economic impact of a $2 billion industry here in recycling. So when you recycle, you're not only helping the environment, you're really helping the local economy through jobs, and through those jobs, revenues for cities like the city of Columbus. So that was the point of my letter, that we want to keep up recycling, not just for the environment, but it really helps our local economies and keeps our jobs here as well.
That's a very important point. I mean, we're all looking at ways to make sure people can have a job when we come out of this, and certainly to keep those working that can during this epidemic. So if viewers are not sure what is recyclable and what's not, where's a good place to tell them to go to find additional information about, is this container recyclable or not?
Sure. SWACO maintains two websites. The first one, which is the most accessible and easy, is recycleright.org. And if you go to that and click on, you can look up different materials and ask if they can be recycled. The best way to recycle them. Some of them can be dropped off at different places, like electronic recycling. So it's recycleright.org. And then you can also go to SWACO's website, which is swaco.org, and it'll provide you that link as well. But doing recycling the right way and recycling the right materials is very important to ensuring the economic quality and value of the materials that are being recycled.
It makes a lot of sense. Many residents think that because they are encouraged to bag their refuse items, they may also need to bag their recycling. Can you talk a little bit about why that can be detrimental?
Yes. The number one point for all of your constituents and everyone to remember is do not put plastic bags in your recycling bin. Do not put any kind of plastic bags in your blue bins at your curbside. And the reason for that is the machinery that once your blue bin is taken to the recycling processing center, then it goes on conveyor belts that separate the metals from the plastics from the glass. And that's a process that's automated as well as people involved. If there are plastic bags in there, the plastic bags then get tangled up in the gears of the equipment and it causes shutdowns. And that in effect causes money. It costs money to repair them. So plastic bags are not to go into a recycling bin, but you can put plastic bags and you can put your waste, which goes in your green bin in the city of Columbus, you can put those in the green bin.
I know for us, when we go to the store, we usually ask for paper if we don't use recyclable bags, but we'll use paper, and then you can actually use paper bags within the blue bin, but not plastic.
Absolutely, you can do that. Now, Kroger's and Giant Eagle both have announced that they're going to be discontinuing the plastic bags in there. But for right now, most of the stores have a container in their front area where the carts are, where you can put your plastic bags in there, and they'll be processed in a different way. But it's very important to keep your plastic bags out of the blue bins.
Makes sense. With the increase, this is an interesting topic to me, with the increase of household waste from the city of Columbus, because everyone is staying home, has there been an overall increase in trash into SWACO because of that, or because there's no one working and there's no commercial waste? What have you seen overall at SWACO?
Right. We've seen about a 10% decrease in overall waste coming into SWACO. Generally, on a given day, we average about 5,000 tons of waste coming to the landfill. Over a year, that's over 1 million tons. The ratio of what's coming in is 40% of that is generated by households, and 60% of it is by commercial and industrial users. So what we're seeing is, which is what you're seeing in the city of Columbus, is you're seeing a big increase in waste being generated in the households because there's more people home during more times of the day. Mm-hmm. And plus, initially, a lot of people who were home started cleaning out their houses, and so there was a big spike for a couple of weeks. While you're also seeing a concurrent decrease in the commercial waste because businesses aren't open or they're not open as long. And so that combination, the ratio has changed, but the combination has resulted in a total amount of waste coming to landfill as a decrease of around a little less than 10% right now.
Yeah, we're trying to get that message out. I know it's difficult for some people because the volume of trash at the house has increased, but that's why it's paramount that people try to recycle more, and they can reduce that green bin down by recycling more of their containers.
It is, particularly because the city of Columbus, through its general fund, pays for those services. And if you're sending a lot more waste down here to SWACO, you're paying more to dispose. Whereas if it's going in the recycling bin, the city of Columbus is paying less. So again, it comes back to an economic equation as to why the continued recycling and enhanced recycling is very important.
It's real simple to recycle. You take the container, make sure it's clean. We want to make sure that there's no food waste left in the product, but certainly just simply rinsing them out in jars. We take and rinse it and shake it up and make sure that it's clean and then dispose of it. But very important, to think about how much you're helping save or prolong the landfill by recycling. Correct?
Correct. Our life expectancy at the landfill, in other words, by the amount of volume that's coming in today, our landfill will last for another 43 years. Now, we're very fortunate that we have a landfill that's going to last that long at the present site. But the more that we recycle, the longer that landfill lasts. And the longer it lasts, the less you have to pay, because if we didn't have our landfill here in Franklin County, you would have to truck the waste probably 40 to 50 miles, and that's going to add an expense. So we believe that the landfill is a true asset to the city of Columbus and all Franklin County residents. We want it to last as long as it can. And to do that, the more that we divert from there, the better off we are. And council member, if I could also add, our diversion rate, which is the recycling, the reuse, all those components, our diversion rate in Franklin County is 50%. In other words, half of all the waste that's generated is diverted from the landfill. That's one of the highest rates in the Midwest. It's really something to be proud of. Yeah. And it's also a business attraction point, because it's a business expense the more that you have to send to the landfill. So we've got a great asset in the landfill, and I also would like to use this opportunity to thank our everyday heroes who work at the landfill. We have 70 employees out there right now taking the waste, disposing of it safely, disposing of it properly, maintaining a very efficient operation so that it can cost as least amount of money as it can for citizens and residents of Franklin County. So they're out there every day, and we appreciate the work they're doing.
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good point. You know, I was able to go out to our Division of Refuse, one of our sites, and thank them as they were coming back from their shift. I mean, your employees down there, our employees, as I consider them frontline workers, putting themselves at risk every single day. I know we talked a little bit, everybody's been healthy at SWACO, but certainly we know that there is risk when they're going out there and working. So we want to thank them for keeping everyday operations going as normal.
Yes, and if I could add, and I can't remember if Refuse Administrator Swalger mentioned this, but it's very important that for the waste that you dispose of in your green bin, that all of that goes into the container. Do not leave any of your waste outside the container, because that means then the employee has to pick it up. And that's where a higher risk comes into it. So make sure that the waste that you put in your green bin, all of it is in the bin, so that the automatic truck carrier can pick it up and haul it in there, and the employee doesn't have to touch it.
Very good point. And always make sure it's bagged in that green so it doesn't fly out.
Correct.
That's another piece of it. So, well, thank you so much, Ty. We appreciate you coming in and having this conversation today. On behalf of my colleagues at Columbus City Council, thank you, and stay safe and keep running the operation in the ways that you are. It's great to see the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you, council member, and thank you for the opportunity to talk and talk to the constituents.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
Goodbye.